So, Dr. Patty, could you tell us a little bit how your Zoom classes and video tutorials and such are going so far?
It's been pretty uneventful until today, and then it got really exciting. So this morning was like a whole cascade of mistakes on my part, a comedy of errors. So I was bound to leave to get to class because I've been teaching it at school like normal. So I just have the whiteboard behind me and I do my normal thing, but with the computer in front of me and Zoom running. But right as I was leaving, I realized, oh no, I need to leave. I need to let my mom's dog out. Now we moved here close by because she's got Alzheimer's and needs a lot of help. So her house is right across the street, and she's actually in our house because the other day she stepped out of bed and injured her foot. She's got two breaks, two fractures in her ankle foot region and a sprain. So, and all this because she got out of bed. Now maybe there's something else going on here, maybe some karate at night, or I don't know. How do you explain all that from getting out of bed? But somehow it happened. Okay. So her wild nightlife had, gotten into the mix here. But in any case, she can't take care of the dog. So I go, oh my word, I've got to let the dog out. So I go running over there, and I had to grab another set of keys, right, to do this. And when I come back, I realize, oh no, now the door's locked. So I'm locked out. I can't get in my car. I'm stuck. So I start my Zoom session on the top of my Mazda Miata. My computer is right there, and everybody's seeing the yard and such. But then Zoom decides that it can't run. So I have to restart my computer. My family members return home from their exercise jog, and I get back in the house. Okay, so all's going well. I am recording from my living room. And thankfully, I didn't know it at the time, but in the background, my mom is getting out of the bedroom where she's staying with us until she recovers, and she's half naked. So we almost had a very exciting Zoom meeting, maybe too exciting, but thankfully, I was tipped away just enough, and I don't think, we'll have to see if anybody saw anything. I've heard of photobombs, but this was probably about as bad as they could get.
Yeah.
Exciting. But yeah, normally Zoom has been going really well. It's kind of fun to try to do, so I'll be conducting and singing, and everybody's joining in singing in an oral skills class, say, but it's got to be just like what you'd experience in an enormous cathedral, where you got this delay. So I just have to keep going. I have to keep my tempo and know that, they're going to follow. It's kind of like, those European conductors, they'll be like, not here, but here. So they conduct, and they want you to follow with this delay. I'm experiencing that now. I conduct, and the sound is, following. So there are challenges to Zoom, but it's working well. There may be some Zoom fatigue sitting in though, because every meeting is by Zoom.
Right.
Zoom is everywhere.
Yeah, it's taken over. Gotcha. So, what about students' attitudes toward the new situation? Have you experienced or heard how students have kind of been expressing this new situation?
Yeah, there's a lot of conversations by Zoom and people talking about their situations, and boy, they're very diverse. Like one person was, she's in an apartment, so she's able to just stay put. She went home just recently, but has been in an apartment, and normally her workspace is kind of in the common living area, but with everybody there, she can't work there. So she's been going to her bedroom to work. And I think it's just disruptive when the spaces where you rest become the places where you work.
Yeah.
So it's been challenging for her and others like that. I was just talking to another guy. He was going home, but his dad said, and he was at home, but his dad said, I think I've got the coronavirus. Now, hopefully that's not true. The test results aren't in, and he'll find out. But he's got medication. He's got all his books and resources there, and he's at home where he doesn't feel comfortable entering. So he's about 30 minutes away with a friend, and it's hard to get stuff done there. So they're all just a diverse set of stories, and lots of people dealing with a lot of different things. Like the theme seems to be, it's kind of distracting to be elsewhere. It's nice to have your routine, and I get that too. It's nice to have your place where you work and then you're done, but it's like work just spills over into life.
Yep.
So like for me, it's been a challenge to wake up and not just dive into getting something ready for that day. And do the exercise, do the time with the Lord that I normally do. But when you break your routines, it's hard to you have to establish new ones or reinforce the others, the ones that you care about. And I think that's going to be a challenge to if this is our new norm, we're going to have to seriously adjust so that we have those good rest times versus
Absolutely.
work times, that kind of thing. That's one of the challenges I foresee anyway.
Gotcha. So what about everything else on Zoom? Um, do you go to church on Zoom? Have you been interacting with family on Zoom? Anything else?
Yeah. So we got together with my most of my family's out west. San Francisco is where one of my brothers lives, and so that was a Zoom meeting. In some ways, we're seeing more people because people are wanting to check in. See how they're doing from far and near. But yeah, church has been on Zoom. Uh, Small groups. I lead a little men's group with some faculty guys and guys from my church. Some of my friends, we get together and discuss a book and basically just hang out, stay in touch. So my friendships have gone to Zoom. Everything's on Zoom. It's kind of ridiculous, but that's
Yeah.
how that's the only way to be in contact. So
Yeah.
yeah, Zoom everywhere.
But at least everyone has Zoom, so it's a common platform.
Yeah, that's right. So everybody kind of knows how it works now. And so you can mute all and all these other awesome things. You got this disruptive reports and you're like, I don't really want to hear them. So you just mute them. You learn these things.
Probably
It's
like
great.
that. Yeah. So, what about your Japan trip coming up? Can you elaborate? What is the trip for? What are some of those details, and have you experienced any setbacks because of that?
Hmm. Yeah, that's been a big concern because with the coronavirus shutting down a lot of international travel, we've been having to decide, okay, what are we going to do with this situation? And the first thing was you don't want to buy a plane ticket and then not be able to use it. That's a big deal. So I was basically looking at a bunch of different travelers insurance situations, but even when it's canceled for any reason, there's small print that says, but not if it's an epidemic. Well, that's what we're dealing with, right? So I think it was just the Lord's hand. One day I was in the cafeteria eating and happened to sit near Byron Whittington, who is with me on the Global Perspectives Committee. So I know him, but we got to talking about this very thing, and he said, you know what, the university has to come up with a policy for this, and we're negotiating with a bunch of different organizations to see how we can insure our trips, and we're concerned about that very issue. So why don't you just wait on it, and I'll get you in contact with whomever we think is the best. So we got in contact with this group that insures missionaries, and they do insure with a cancel for anything. It gets you 75% back, which is pretty good, even if it's like this, a pandemic situation. So that was one thing. But we still, I mean, the goals are still the same. We want to get there, and we want to be able to love people through our music and through conversation and through the message that, whether it's Dr. Jensen, who is a regular on these trips, if he teaches Japanese language and culture, so he often speaks, but sometimes it's a pastor or a missionary. So these concerts are really a chance for the gospel to go out to a place that is very dark and hasn't heard the gospel. So we want to make it happen. And the way they're kind of mapping out things, it looks like the coronavirus, the COVID-19, is going to peak here later this month, at least for Tennessee. And then we'll have maybe a second wave as people come back together. But then the idea is that it's going to die out. So that looks like, if that's true, that looks like we're dealing with, the next 3 months being shut down. But after that, it seems that both here in Japan it'll kind of simmer down, and it'll be more like the flu is today, where it's a thing, but it's not such a heightened concern. So probably there are a lot of people here in this meeting right now that have some travel that they want to do and are probably grappling with the same kinds of issues. How do we plan when we just don't know what the future holds?
Right.
It's difficult to know, but we're gonna go forward and hope that um, we're doing we won't go if it's a danger, but if we can't go, we do have this refund, and that's critical.
Okay. Cool. So hypothetically, everything goes perfectly. What is this trip going to look like? Can you elaborate what that would be?
Right now, Dr. Jensen is talking with a bunch of different pastors and missionary groups in Japan, and so they're setting up our itinerary. There are a whole bunch of places that we want to visit again, some new places that we want to go to. It's usually the places that are churches that are really reaching out, and that's pretty much most all of the churches. But they'll when we hear about somebody who's reaching out to their community, if they've got like a gospel choir, and that's a pretty regular thing, it seems they love gospel music. So if they've got that kind of outward look, we want to join with them. And since they kind of know what we're about, they'll put us in a variety of different places. Like it might be their church, so they invite people to come and hear a Christmas concert. The idea being that somebody who never would have otherwise crossed a threshold into a church, Christian church, that's really foreign to them. And so it'd be like us going to a Buddhist temple or something like that. It'd be really oddball for us. But Christmas is sort of safe territory for them. So somebody who might not otherwise go would be willing to go to a church for a Christmas concert. And they do go to a lot of concerts. These people they're out on the town a lot. So we have a bunch of different churches we want to go to, and sometimes we're in that church. Sometimes they'll have us go to like one time they had us at a hospital, nursing home, places in the community, malls. I mean, we've been all sorts of places, and all these are just chances for them to sometimes make inroads. So they're doing it as a blessing to some organization or group of people in their community, and spread the gospel through it. But what a neat chance to be able to spread the gospel. We're going to be in Tokyo area, lots of Chiba, just north of there, up in the tsunami disaster area along the coast up north. Yamagata is the furthest north we'll go. And I don't know if any of you know Jonathan Robbins, but he lives more toward the west side in the mountains, a beautiful area. And we hope to go there. And then a little bit further south, there's a place, Rito. So we're going geographically through a large part of Japan. It's exciting though, because it is such a different culture and such a neat opportunity, because it's just amazing how God moves, so many times we'll hear somebody say, there's a spirit in this place. Now they don't know what's going on, that's the Holy Spirit, and he rules over all these spirits that they're worried about. But they're feeling something real, and it draws them to the Lord. I mean, he knows how to do that, right? He'll draw all men to himself. He does that. And that's a beautiful thing to see.
That's awesome. My next question was if you were just going to stay in one area or travel around, which you just answered. You're going to be going all over Japan, bring the whole group with you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess my last question: what about fundraising? Are you doing anything to help raise funds for this?
Yeah, we're planning on using a shirt. So last semester, I hope we'll have another shirt in the making soon. But last semester, there was somebody in one of my classes who had a little insignia on the shirt, and I was like, "What is that?" I couldn't make it out, and she said, "Well, this was from our AP Music Theory class. We had these shirts." It's like, we can do better than that. And so they're like, "Hey, yeah, you can put your face on there." And I was like, "No way! There's no way I'm putting my face on a shirt." I mean, it just seemed ridiculous to me. And then it was just I think it was two mornings later. I'm in the shower and I'm like, wait a minute, I've got it. So I had this idea of this explosion, and this trope, this thing that you see so many times. You got people walking away from the disaster. So here's me walking away from this. It was just a picture, a clip off of I forget, some news site where they had an explosion in Iran, actually. So anyway, there's this explosion from Iran that becomes the backdrop. And then I just put myself in front of it, and I didn't have a time, so I had to find a tie and clip that out too and stick it on there. And then in my hands are the weapons of the trade, right? I mean, we got a treble clef and some notes in the other hand, and those are my weapons in my hand, walking away from this awesome explosion. So yeah, music theory, it will blow your mind. It's that shirt on a now. See, we did it on gray, and everybody in the class, it was music theory. Actually, I had two sections, but everybody in those two classes pretty much got one because it was over 30 people got them. And then this semester, we're trying a black background, and it's a little cheaper, so we can sell it for the same amount and get, what was it, $2? Something like that. I think it's just a couple dollars a piece, but we're hoping to use the sale of those shirts to raise $2 a piece. I think it's less than that. It's like $1.50, right? Anyway, raise something like $1.50 per shirt by selling it. I think, what did we say? Was it? I forget what we said as our price. But anyway, we're gonna 17. Is that?
Is it 17? I don't know. I don't remember.
We'll have to read our email thread there. But we were gonna come up with a way to buy those shirts and have that as a way to fundraise. But the truth is, the plane tickets right now are super cheap because of the coronavirus. So they're super cheap, and most everybody has got the money that they need. There are two people who are still shy of the amount, but we're going to be able to get plane tickets here real soon. So the fundraising for the biggest part of the trip is done, which is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's terrific.
So that's all the questions that I have for you. So what I'm going to do after I'm done with the recording and such, I'll post a picture of the t-shirt in a comment below. And so anybody watching, if you want a t-shirt, just message us and we'll get that squared away for you. So I'm going to open up the floor. Open up the floor to anyone. I just allowed you guys to unmute yourselves. Go ahead, unmute yourself and ask whatever questions you'd like, and we'll just kind of talk and hang out until we get tired. So, floor is open.
So is everybody in contact with a group, or hopefully you got your family around you or some people that you care about? I know how it is because you go out jogging even, and people are like, they're like people in gerbil balls, there's like this cushion around them. You see somebody, they're running down the road, they come to another group and it's like, whoa, they go around them. So it's good to have some people you care about to be inside the gerbil ball with you. Do you have your gerbil people?
I see Celia's at the beach right now.
Is that right?
Go to, in the top right, click gallery view, and you can see everyone.
There we are. It looks great, but is it real? I know I can put any backdrop I want behind me.
Yeah.
So, are you cheating, or are you really there?
No, it's a virtual background. I wish, though. I want to go to the beach.
Yeah, you had actually planned, right? You had planned to go.
Yes, but those plans fell through because of the coronavirus.
Could you not go anyway? Despite coronavirus?
I mean, well, my aunt has her own cottage at the beach, so I thought about joining her, but she was like, "Stay away from me." So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Little growl there. Back on. Yeah. Well, if she's gonna be that way, whatever.
Maybe, maybe later this summer.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see, though.
All right, we got a lot of people here. Okay, who's the furthest away? I know we've been scattered to the four winds, but somebody's got to win the prize for being the furthest. Who's far? Go ahead and speak up if you think you're the furthest away. We gotta have a little competition here.
Michelle's in Maryland. What up, Prahoda? Where are you right now?
But I don't think I'm the
Do what?
Yeah, Nick, where are you at?
I am back in Lorain, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay, that's pretty far. Looks like you're ready to drive somewhere.
I'm waiting on my wife. She's in the Joanne Fabrics.
Nice.
Yeah, you gotta let her brave that stuff, you know.
Well, she is a nurse, so she's going in to get some fabric to make some masks.
Nice. Yes, that's a big need. I know. I've been hearing that people, nurses and physicians, they should be changing out the mask as they move from one patient to another, but there just aren't
Yeah.
enough. Even they'll wear one all day or something like that. Well, that's a great way
Yep.
to and do something amazing. Where now? What's her situation? Is she working in a hospital or something?
Yeah, she works in a pediatric emergency room.
Mm-hmm. Is she seeing cases?
I don't think they've had any positive cases in the pediatric side, but they have had some positives on the adult side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now there was a real misnomer at the beginning of all this. People thought that, hey, if you're not elderly, you're good, but it's at that ages 0 to 14 that are not affected, and
Yeah.
so I think a lot fit in this category of concern, right? We used to think, oh, I don't have to worry about that. Not true. But a good thing about this virus too, though, that we've just come to know. I saw a video by a physician who works in a place in New York, hospital that specializes in care for COVID-19 patients, and he was like, "Hey, just follow the rules. You just got to wash your hands, put on you just got to do the hand sanitizer thing. Don't touch your face, but you can't get it if you're not in prolonged close contact with another person because this is a weak virus. It's easy to kill it." So that was kind of freeing. You don't have to do the gerbils passing in the ball thing. You can actually have some more contact with the people and not be afraid if you know what to do. Very freeing, I thought.
It's good to know.
Yeah. I should post that video up there. It's really neat because here's a guy who's living every day treating people. He and all his staff, the nurses and everybody, and they're interacting with people. The only reason that he says they really need the mask is when they're helping somebody to cough or somehow do something to dislodge a bunch of spit, basically, right? So it really is. It's good to know that it's pretty easy to control it if you know how it's passed. It's not primarily this way. It's through contact and then touching your face, and it's hard not to. It is hard not to touch your face. I know that, but at least we know what we got to do. And then we don't have to be like, oh no, the delivery guy's coming. Can we talk to him? No, you could talk to him. You just gotta take the package, say thanks for being brave and doing your thing, doing your job. I appreciate you. And then, make some contact there, take it in, wash your hands, open that box, and don't lick the box, but open it and you're good. So it is freeing to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's the furthest away now? We've heard we got Maryland, Ohio. We got to be at Emma. You're tied, aren't you?
I'm like in northern Illinois, so
Oh,
as far as Maryland, but
okay. You're the second most distant, sounds like. Anybody else further?
We have some people in Cleveland still. I think Katrin's in Cleveland. Zaleski's in Cleveland. He's never leaving Cleveland.
Another dimension of
Yeah, no, I'm definitely not the farthest. Not even close.
I have a question about the trip. And you may have talked about this because I came a little late, but how many of the churches are we going back to that we went to last time?
a bunch of them. Now we have a little less time than we did last on the trip before, but we're gonna try and hit all of them again.
Really? Okay, cool.
Yeah, and still have a day off in the middle. So I don't know that we'll even be able to fit in anything new. It'll probably just be all our favorites, as many as we can fit in. Maybe
Mhm.
the last set we had a bunch that were all associated with the Honda Chapel. We'll probably have to cut that back a little bit.
Mhm. Okay.
It'll be a pretty similar set, and it's nice. It's nice to go back to ones that we know because they know what we're like and what we can do, and so they're more likely to put us out in front of a bigger crowd and
Yeah.
make a bigger splash, which is good. More.
Are we gonna do other forms of fundraising besides t-shirts?
Oh, thinking about it, yeah, I assume that most of this is going to be individuals doing things, and so we might try some things on social media individually, because I know a lot, at least a lot of people that I've been following aren't really doing that. So individual members can do more that way, but I'm going to have a site up where every week I put up something. So once we get the plane tickets, our next big thing is to get the money for rail passes. And right now the plane tickets look to be just about $1,000. The other big expense is the rail passes, and they're about 500. So this is going to be an amazingly cheap trip, and we need about 300 for the trip itself for lodging and all that, food. But so to get ready for this next thing, I'm going to have a website. Actually, Nick's got it ready for us. We just need to revise it a bit. And then every week try and put up something about previous trips so that people kind of know what they'd be giving toward. So yeah, we'll kind of do a coordinated social media thing next. That's our next thing, along with the t-shirts.
Now, with all the money that we're saving on the plane tickets, I'm sure the money that we save will go towards the rail pass and the other expenses as well.
Right. So a lot of people already have most of the rail pass taken care of, given the if you got the 1350, which most people have, that's 350 extra. You're ready for, if you want to think about it, like about $300 is what we need on the trip itself. That means you just have the 500 to raise for the rail pass and you're ready to go. That's amazing. So even though this COVID-19 thing has been a real pain, it does have the benefit of making international travel very affordable right now. So if you have any plans, you want to see the world, now's your chance. The coronavirus thing is going to settle down, right? It's going to settle down after a bit. Almost, 99% sure it's going to settle down, but you can take advantage of this time right now. So how many of you are investing in the stock market right now? Yeah. You want to hit it when it's low. So the people who are selling right now, bad plan, right? You should be investing right now. This is the time to get in.
Absolutely.
I know a lot of you have all that extra money, right? You just got to find some way to invest it. I know that's a big concern for students.
Right.
Yeah. So what's the new normal, everybody? What's happening these days? You just stay at home and play solitaire, or what's going on? You practice every spare moment? What's happening?
Watching a lot of TV. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Reruns or what?
Just trying new things, watching old things. Right now, I'm still on binge watching Grey's Anatomy right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Other things? What are other people doing?
I'm getting caught up on some video games that I haven't finished.
All right, there you go. I'm learning a little bit about Minecraft for my kids, but that's about it on the computer.
Playing some dancing video games with my family.
That's awesome. I like it.
So to everyone, we are going to be having a little contest, social media contest coming up. I guess we might start it next week. We want some new ways to interact with current students and everything. So we'll do this picture contest. So each week is going to be a different category. And the first category is where are you practicing now? What's your practice room look like? Because obviously most people aren't in the Cleveland practice rooms. And so basically the funniest picture wins. Where are you practicing? Like a broom closet or the attic, just something funny like that. So more details will come, but just be thinking of something creative where you're practicing.
So you can't cheat though, right? I mean, if you have one of those fake backgrounds, that would not.
No, it won't be over Zoom. It won't be over Zoom. Just take a picture or have someone take a picture of you in a funny practicing environment.
So, Katrin, we want to see you with your family doing it. We want to see it all. Practicing your moves there. Singing, of course. Singing and dancing. Excellent. We have a thumbs up there. We're a go. I'm waiting for this. Dakota, we got to see you getting wild too. What are you going to do? What's your background? What's your awesome practicing venue here? Post COVID-19 practice venue. Is it Pangle? We'll get us to it.
Hey, I can show you actually. I've got a marimba in my basement.
That's cool.
Wow. Did you have to take the flight to bring it down there?
Yeah, I put it in the back of my mom's SUV. So we got a marimba and I got a snare drum in the corner. So I've kind of turned my basement into my purgatory.
Well, if Andy starts asking questions, we won't tell him, okay? We won't tell
I mean, he was very gracious.
Wow. Unbelievable. You asked. That's great.
Yeah, I think some of the other students asked first, and then he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do it too.
Wow,
and I'm only like 30 minutes away, so it's not too far.
That's truly amazing. Wow. Well, you got a nice basement down there. You got a roomy area.
Yeah, it's pretty much I'm doing all my work down here, which is nice. When it was like not really used before.
Uh-huh. So you got a snare and a marimba. Anything else?
Yeah. That's all I've got. I've got a piano upstairs, but that's it.
And a clarinet.
Oh, that's true. I've also got a clarinet and a trombone for music ed classes.
Yeah, trombone.
Mm-hmm. Were you afraid to put your lips on the trombone when you first got it?
I was definitely I cleaned it before I used that. For sure.
Mrs. Holsinger to get that right.
Yeah, well, actually, whenever I had to pick it up, my parents didn't even want me to go to campus, so I had to get my teacher to meet me at like Walgreens.
Wow.
To go to campus.
Yeah, that's intense. That's some serious. Well, some people are more law-abiding. If you look out my suite, the stay. What's it called? Stay put. Whatever the
Stay
word.
Yeah. I don't know.
Stay in place. That's it. So the whole singers are out there still in the whatever gesture they were at when it first was issued. I think they've got like barbecues right there, and they're reaching out to grab it, but they've just stayed right in place, frozen. They're still there. Not really. Just joking. Yeah. So they're taking it pretty serious. They're saying, hey, look, you can't even get on campus for this. Don't pick it up.
Yeah, but it all worked out, thankfully.
Yeah.
He was generous enough to meet me. He went to pick it up for me and meet me.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. That's very nice. So do you guys all play together, clarinet and trombone, on Zoom?
Yeah, we try to play together, and it doesn't usually go very well. So what usually ends up happening is we'll just play individually for him, and he'll give us some feedback, and then he just talks about the instrument. So it works out better than I was expecting it to.
Yeah, that's great. So when's the recording going to come out? Your EP?
I'll make an EP with everything. I'll call it my basement, and it'll just be it'll just include my marimba, the snare drum, and trombone, and clarinet. No, I'll get that out for you.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I think that would be this is the time, right? So, for the EP or whatever, I mean, you got time, hopefully. Get your
Yeah.
things to just lay off and get your space, then you can record. But one of my classes, last semester for Music Theory 3, we went out to it's a retirement community, right? So a nursing home really, and performed our songs for them, which was really neat. But we had to cancel this time because of this. And now I'm thinking, hey, maybe we could do something where we each record our songs if possible, and then make it an offering to maybe the older folks in our churches and in our families, grandparents, whatever. There might be a way to still take what creative work we've put into these and let it sort of get out there and be a blessing to others at this time, even though we're stuck and can't be there physically. So there might be a way that we can actually pull that off as a creative project that finds expression, and isn't just on a piece of paper somewhere. Anyway, I'm thinking about that. So are your lessons going well? How are they going online? Are you
I'm just sending in videos, and he just gives me feedback for that pretty much.
Mhm. Well, it seems like it would work just fine, right? You're getting feedback.
Yeah, and I was doing that anyway because I would send him videos throughout the week between lessons.
Wow.
So it's pretty much just continuing what I would be doing, and I think like the videos a lot. I mean, you can hear it a lot better than you would like live on Zoom.
Yeah, sound quality can be way better. That's a good idea. So is that a lot of people recording, sending in, or are you doing Zoom?
I'm doing both. I'll send in videos once a week, and then also we do a Zoom session.
Is the Zoom session then kind of feedback time, or?
Yeah, it's usually more like technical things that we talk about, and then the video is to do more like musical ideas, because he can hear better through the video. But it's not the same really over Zoom, but it's better than nothing. So
yeah. That's vocalist. Are you doing something similar? Are you doing video?
I've been doing lessons over Zoom, and it's gone surprisingly well. I got to have my accompanist send me the tracks so that I have something to sing along with, because like for vocal coaching and things, it didn't really work for Dr. Lee to play something and me to sing because we would be out of sync. But with the recordings, it's gone pretty well.
That's so good, yeah. Neat. So you're singing along to a pre-recorded accompaniment. They're kind of driving it, right? You have to kind of go with their tempo and such. If you're like, hey, that's way too fast, you can't complain really, right? You just have to put up with it.
Pretty much.
Comes your rubato. The accompaniment Nazi takes over, and you just do what they do.
Unless you have some software that will allow you to speed it up or slow it down or even change the key.
That's right. Get it in Logic Pro, and you can just stretch it. It's awesome. You could even do that in iMovie. Yeah, right? I mean, you stretch it out and
I think so, yeah.
yeah. But then it'll go you'll break it up, right? Hopefully not. It'd be an interesting performance. How about other classes? Is everything, I mean, ensembles aren't working. Can't really do that. Although I did hear that so lead singers somehow is putting together a recording where everybody's recording their part and then they're putting it all together. They must have a click track or the background, something or another to keep it all together, but because you kind of need the Nazi, right? You need everybody to stick together, else it'll be mayhem. But I don't know. Are other ensembles doing anything? Any collaborative things, or is it just kind of like let's connect via Zoom, but it's not really music making going on. I see nodding going on here. Is that true? Yeah. So ensembles are basically not happening except for a couple, maybe. I've heard of singers. That's the only one I know of.
Yeah, from what I understand, the ensemble directors just want to see their people every once in a while, and so they'll open up a Zoom session for the class time, and they'll come in and hang out or whatever, and they can leave whenever they want. That's what I've understood. But
Matt, have you got all the pianos completely clean in the whole place here?
no. I was working before they closed the building monitor down. I was working as an MRC worker and a building monitor. And I've got a couple more pieces to record, but they kind of, like other people have mentioned, they're still recording. They're still paying accompanists to record accompaniments. So I've gotten most of those done. But then people were like, I've learned this piece. Hey, can you record this? So once I get back in a space where I can do that, I'll be finishing those up.
It's like a hotel lobby, right? You take requests, you play whatever.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I've been to Facebook Live or something and just sit there and just song requests and just play, just because I miss just jamming. But
wow.
We'll see.
Now, if we go into a practice room and we try to play, we're just going to slip right off. I mean, it's got so many layers of cleaning going.
Yeah, as far as when the MRC was open, yeah, we would go up. We had all the practice rooms locked, and we'd have to go up, unlock the room for someone, and then when they left, go back up, sanitize it, clean everything, lock it back up, walk back down. So those pianos are probably cleaner than they've ever been right now.
It says, to clean it down beforehand and after. So that's 2 right there per use.
Right. Exactly.
Slide, no trouble.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. All fixed up.
Yep.
So cool. Wow. Any other crazy events happening because of this new way of interacting here? Any massive fails? Classes that just couldn't go and they sputtered to an end. I almost had one this morning. I had to restart. I mentioned that I had to even restart. I had to restart my computer. So my class took a while to get started, but that was the only real hiccup there. But it was funny. I was in a meeting yesterday, a faculty meeting, and some people, they'd say, raise your hand. And so some people were doing this, but I know they didn't mean that. They meant, you know what they're talking about, right? You can raise your hand. They were trying to get a count because they're trying to do a vote, right? But then you'd see some people doing this. I'm like, that didn't get counted. There's one right there. You missed that. You got to do the virtual raise. But so some confusion there among some of the people in the faculty meeting. So funny. Took me a while to figure it out though. Participants, that's where you click. Then you can raise your hand. Yeah, you probably all know that, but since I hadn't been I hadn't been the organizer, I hadn't had to do it yet. Other people raised their hand for me, but I never had to raise my hand for them. So this is my first time raising my hand. No massive fails? That's amazing. You gotta have things just go massively awry. That's where the good stories come in, right? Wow. Okay, things are going too well. This is not right. Quit this. We gotta have more excitement out there.
So did you say that we were able to get the t-shirts you're talking about?
We have to put an order in for them.
Okay.
We'll have a picture of the shirt, and then we'll have to remember what our price was for it. And and then we'll see how many people want them.
Got it. Okay. because I will pay money for that.
Well,
I'll pay a lot of money for that.
and you're one of the members. No,
It is
that's
a cool T-shirt.
yeah, it's kind of fun. But yeah, I want to come up with another one too. That's got Nick and I were talking about having one that has like a tour shirt, and it's got on the back, it's got the places. We have to wait till we know what places before we can do that. But once we have that, we'll hopefully have a normal tour kind of shirt on the back, and then some image on the front. We were kind of messing around with some ideas, but I haven't taken the time to decide what the front will look like. And then hopefully I'll use some of this design software that I've got to make something cool, a good image there, and then send it off to them and see how much it'll cost to make it happen.
I will pay money for that too.
All right. Yeah. I'll get
I'm
that
fine. I'm fine with that.
out. Yeah, it's nice to have a shirt that we can all have to remember the trip if you're one of the members. Yeah. And supporters too. It'd be nice to have that for people. It's not going to raise a bunch of money because the margin's not much, but every bit helps, and yeah, it'll be good. Anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I should probably go. My mom called me like 20 minutes ago to go eat lunch, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out. But it was good to see you guys.
Good to see you too, Emma. Bye bye. So one of the stories that I keep hearing is that people, like one person in particular, has to muscle other people off the computer so that she can get on. It's more like she's not having to fight for the computer, but it's like if too many people are using their Wi-Fi at once, things start to fail. And so I've learned to record the whole session, although I forgot this morning, so I'm gonna have to create a video. But yeah, is that a problem? Is it like an issue just getting into Zoom because of competition for Wi-Fi? Is this a thing? Or is it just this one person?
My Wi-Fi has seemingly slowed down a little bit. Like sometimes when I'm trying to play video games in the evening, it's a little bit slower because I have some roommates that are streaming, others that are doing homework and other things like that. So
It's kind of amazing that it's been able to hold up. The internet has been able to keep its integrity, even though it's getting so much volume. I mean, the volume's gone way up, and yet seems to be doing pretty well given the scenario.
yeah.
How about you, Carrie? Are you having to push some little brother or sister off the computer and say, no, my time, my class right now, off?
No, not currently. It has been like pretty slow in my house, but not terrible. It did, like, our internet and phones and everything out here at the house went down for a couple hours the other day, and I was in the middle of piano class and it just went away, and I was like, is this just me? Like, I texted a friend of mine in the class. I was like, is this just me, or did like it all go the way? And they were like, it's just you. And I was like, okay, cool.
Okay. You have to drive to the nearest Starbucks real quick. Log on and play your portable keyboard or something. Yeah, that's hard. That's hard to work around, especially if you're out of town and can't get to some place with a library or some place that has a connection, Wi-Fi. Maybe there is some sort of workaround though. That's what I'm kind of wondering for this one student. It's like a regular thing where she says, sorry, I couldn't get on today, and so it's happening, but maybe there's something else you can do. I think though that if she were like to FaceTime, it still would be using Wi-Fi, right? I mean, at least in my house, when I do it, I have it running through Wi-Fi, because if it's just through a satellite somewhere, it can be pretty spotty. So I don't know if that's really a solution, but maybe getting to the local Starbucks could solve some things. If they're running the drive-through, they probably got their Wi-Fi going too. I don't know. It's worth a shot. But that's the only things. I don't know. Maybe there's another. If you have a workaround, let me know. And I'll tell the student and others, here's a way. you can get on. No solutions? Oh wow. Okay. We'll hobble along somehow here.
One day at a time.
Right. Yeah. Well, I got just a couple more minutes before I have to go to another Zoom meeting. So, any last words here? Well, I hope you all stay safe and just remember, wash your hands like you've just chopped some onion and you're about to put in your contacts. Okay, just keep washing. Was it 20? They say 20 seconds. Get those hands clean if you're going out, and don't touch your face while you're out. They say wear a mask so that it's just a reminder not to touch your face. And I think that's a great idea. Not that I have a mask, but I think it's a good idea because I know myself. It's like, doggone, I don't want to touch my face. There, I just did it again. It's an unconscious thing now. Just hands to face. There's some magnet there. Fingernails get drawn in. I don't know. It's weird, but I can't seem to quit. But yeah, just remember, wash those hands. Hand sanitizer does the job. And stay safe. And stay in contact too. I think that's a big deal. You can get stir crazy. It's like being cooped up and not able to see friends, family. But thank goodness there is this virtual way. It's not the same, but better than nothing for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Some kind of contact is really healthy and good for us. So, and if you need anything, let me know. Let other people know because we just had some people. What's with the toilet paper anyway? I mean, we have some friends who are out of toilet paper. Now it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is, right? And they're elderly, so my wife goes and she got, I don't know, I guess she couldn't get any from the store, so she had to take from our supply and give. But I don't know, why do people need to stockpile toilet paper? I don't know. It's like Black Friday at Walmart when it comes. They don't even take it off the pallet. They just leave it in the back of the store, and they announce, we got toilet paper in the back. And then people go, oh, yeah, and they go running for the toilet paper. All excited like Black Friday relived, for toilet paper. What the world? So anyway, they're spread out. They probably leave it at the back of the store because the people have to line up with 6-foot distancing. And, if they did it at the front where it normally is, the lines would go out into the parking lot or something. I don't know. Anyway, they have it in the back and everybody mobs it and gets their toilet paper, except for us because we come too late or something. So thank goodness I guess we just stockpile normally because we had enough. Anyway, so there's somebody who's missing toilet paper. And if they hadn't had the gumption to just say, we need toilet paper to us, they'd be using leaves or something horrible like that. Something scratchy and ungodly. So anyway, they got their toilet paper, and the lesson here is let people know if you have a need. If we lost them, the point there, that's it. Let us know if you had a need, and if you're stuck on a topic or a subject and you're hitting a wall in a class or whatever, email the person, the professor, get a Zoom meeting going, and get it worked out instead of just hitting the wall. There's no sense in that. Or you need Matt here to make your recording. You heard him. He's good at this. His fees are a little steep, but other than that, he's really great. No, not really. He's a terrific guy. So yeah, just stay in touch, and if you do have a need, make sure to let people know, because it's a joy to be able to help out in these different ways. And who knows how things will get with people. I know some students they've been without jobs, and they they need some food. So there's the food bank here on campus too that needs food. And so there's some small ways that we can be of help if we still do have our work, which I'm thankful to have. Praise God for that. Very thankful. And it's just been a pleasure to see you all and to have this meeting right now. So thanks so much for joining and being a part of this moment of connecting too. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, thanks for having this. This was a lot of fun, and we're going to be continuing this next week with Dr. Wyckoff. And if the demand for this keeps up, we'll find more faculty to interview. So thank you, Dr. Patty, for coming, answering some questions and interacting. And thank you to all that tuned in and are watching the recording of this later on. So have a great rest of your day. Stay healthy, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nick.